You've probably eaten something that was trying to eat you back. And the terrifying part is, you may not have noticed. That fuzzy green patch on old bread, it's not just sitting there. It's alive, spreading, digging invisible roots deep into your food while you stare at the surface thinking, maybe I can just cut that part off. But here's the strange part. Some molds can send you to the hospital. Others are worth hundreds of dollars in gourmet restaurants. And one type of mold literally changed human history forever. So how can the same organism both kill you and save your life? That's where this gets disturbing. Mold is everywhere. On your walls, inside your fridge, floating through the air around you right now. Scientists estimate there are up to 300,000 different types of mold on Earth. And most of them are still barely understood. Some are harmless. Some are useful. And some produce chemicals so dangerous they can quietly destroy your organs before you even realize something is wrong. But most people think mold is simple. If food looks bad, throw it away. Problem solved. Except that's not actually true. Because mold doesn't always look dangerous. Sometimes the deadliest contamination is completely invisible. No smell, no fuzz, no warning signs. And this is where it gets weird. The part you can see on food is only the surface. Underneath, mold spreads microscopic thread-like structures called hyphae. Tiny fungal roots that tunnel deep into whatever they're feeding on. Meaning if you spot one tiny patch, the real invasion may already be everywhere. Which raises a terrifying question. If mold can spread where you can't see it, how often have you already eaten it without knowing? Now imagine this. You wake up hungry. You grab a piece of bread. Maybe a strawberry. Maybe leftovers from 2 nights ago. You notice something small. A weird spot. A strange smell. But you shrug it off and take a bite anyway. What happens next depends on the kind of mold you just invited into your body. And trust me, not all molds play by the same rules. Some are relatively harmless. Your stomach acid destroys them before they can do much damage. Maybe you feel slightly nauseous. Maybe nothing happens at all. But that's not even the craziest part. The real danger often isn't the mold itself. It's what comes with it. Because mold creates the perfect environment for bacteria to explode across your food. Invisible colonies multiplying silently while the mold distracts you on the surface. And once those bacteria enter your digestive system, things can go downhill fast. Stomach cramps, vomiting, diarrhea, fever. Your body goes into emergency mode trying to flush the invaders out before they spread deeper. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Certain molds don't just contaminate food. They weaponize it. Some species produce toxic chemicals called mycotoxins, poisons designed by nature itself. And unlike bacteria, many of these toxins survive cooking, freezing, and food processing, meaning you can destroy the mold and still eat the poison. What happens next changes everything. Scientists have identified around 500 different mycotoxins. Some attack the nervous system. Some damage organs. Some weaken your immune system so badly your body struggles to defend itself against anything. But one toxin stands above the rest. A silent killer hiding in foods millions of people eat every single day. And once researchers discovered what it could do to the human body, it shocked the entire world. The toxin is called aflatoxin, and it might be one of the most dangerous natural poisons on Earth. It's produced by specific molds that grow on crops like peanuts and corn, foods found in everything from snacks to cooking oils to animal feed, which means exposure can happen far more easily than most people realize. But here's the terrifying part. Aflatoxin doesn't always make you feel sick immediately. Sometimes the damage happens slowly, quietly, deep inside the body while everything seems completely normal. Researchers discovered that high exposure to aflatoxins can severely damage the liver. Over time, it can increase the risk of liver cancer, suppress the immune system, and even damage DNA itself. Think about that. A mold growing on food can literally alter the genetic blueprint inside your cells. And this is where it gets weird. In some developing regions, aflatoxin contamination became such a massive problem that entire food supplies had to be monitored constantly to prevent deadly outbreaks. Because unlike spoiled milk or rotten meat, you can't always see aflatoxins. Sometimes the food looks perfectly fine. And that realization changed how scientists viewed mold forever. It wasn't just gross anymore. It was biologically strategic. But just when mold starts sounding like one of nature's greatest villains, the entire story flips upside down. Because humans didn't just learn to survive mold. We learned to use it. intentionally. In fact, some of the world's most expensive and celebrated foods are literally made with mold on purpose. Blue cheese, for example. That sharp smell, the blue veins running through it, that's living mold carefully introduced during production. And somehow, people love it. But why would anyone willingly eat something they spend the rest of their life avoiding? The answer reveals something shocking about how little we actually understand the hidden world growing around us. Blue cheese shouldn't exist. At least not according to everything your brain tells you about mold. It smells strange. It looks infected. The surface appears spoiled. And yet people pay premium prices for it in restaurants around the world. So what makes this mold different? The answer is both fascinating and deeply unsettling. Specific molds used in blue cheese, like Penicillium roqueforti, are carefully controlled strains that don't produce dangerous toxins. Instead, they do something completely unexpected. They improve the food. As the mold spreads through the cheese, it breaks down proteins and fats, transforming the texture into something softer, creamier, and packed with intense flavor. But here's the strange part. These molds also produce antibacterial compounds that help suppress harmful pathogens. In other words, one microorganism is protecting food from other microorganisms. And suddenly mold stops looking simple. It becomes a microscopic chemical factory capable of creating poisons, medicines, flavors, and biological defenses all at once. But that's not even the biggest twist. Because hidden inside another ordinary mold was a discovery so powerful it changed modern medicine forever. It happened accidentally. In 1928, scientist Alexander Fleming noticed something strange growing in one of his petri dishes. Most researchers would have thrown it away immediately. But Fleming looked closer. Around the mold, the bacteria were dying. That fuzzy contamination was producing a substance capable of killing dangerous microbes. That substance became penicillin, the world's first true antibiotic. And within years, it began saving millions of lives. Think about how insane that is. The same thing you panic over on old bread became one of humanity's greatest medical breakthroughs. And this is where the entire story changes. Because mold isn't evil. It isn't good either. It's something far more unsettling. A hidden biological force that humans barely understand, despite living beside it every single day. Right now, somewhere in your home, mold is growing. Maybe behind a wall. Maybe inside forgotten leftovers. Maybe on fruit slowly decaying in your kitchen. Silent, invisible, patient. And the truth is, humans have spent centuries fighting it without fully understanding what it's capable of. Because mold doesn't follow human rules. One strain can poison entire food supplies. Another can create luxury cheeses. Another can save millions of lives. And there may still be thousands of undiscovered species hiding secrets we haven't even imagined yet. But here's the strangest part of all. The line between deadly and beneficial can be terrifyingly thin. Scientists still discover new fungal compounds with shocking abilities. Some show potential for fighting infections. Others may help treat disease. And some could become the next medical revolution hiding in plain sight. Which means the next world-changing discovery could already be growing somewhere forgotten. On a basement wall, inside a laboratory, or on a piece of food someone almost threw away. And that realization forces an uncomfortable question. How many things have humans labeled disgusting? Simply because we never understood them. Because mold isn't just rot. It's survival, adaptation, chemical warfare, medicine, life feeding on life in ways most people never stop to notice. But that's not even the creepiest thought. Every breath you take probably contains microscopic fungal spores drifting invisibly through the air around you. You inhale them every day. You always have. And long after humans disappear, mold will probably still be here, spreading quietly across whatever we leave behind. Waiting, growing, evolving. So the next time you see that tiny fuzzy spot on forgotten food, you might want to ask yourself one question. Is it just decay? Or are you looking at one of the most powerful life forms on Earth?